Hey guys, welcome to Lanie Cooks. Today's video is going to be over lemongrass chicken. In Vietnamese is Xao Xa Ot. And so basically this is a very easy dish to prepare, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this simple dish. Okay, so for this dish you're going to need about 6 skin on and bone on chicken thighs. You can use it without the skin and the bone. I have about 2 or 3 green onions here, 2 red peppers, handful of cilantro chopped up, 1 shallot, and 3 garlic cloves. And then I also have some lemongrass that's already chopped up. You'll need fish sauce, sugar, salt, pepper, and chicken powder. Right now I am cutting my chicken up, and what I have is I have about 6 skin on and bone on chicken thighs. The best chicken to use for this dish will be chicken thighs. You can buy it with skin on, or you can buy the boneless and skinless chicken thighs. I prefer to eat it with the skin and cut around the bone, so this is why I'm cooking mine with all of it. Your choice. So once I get this, I normally clean it real well, dry it, and then I cut them into little pieces. You can cut as big as you want. We like big chunks of meat because once the meat cooks, they normally shrink a bit. So that's why I cut mine in pieces like that. Next up, I'm going to cut up 1 shallot. We're just going to slice it up, and then this is going to be part of our chicken dish at the beginning. And so you guys can use shallots. You can use the back of a green onion, the white part of it. That's fine too. We like lots of herbs, so I'm going to use a little bit of both. And here I am cutting up my green onion kind of coarse, big chunky pieces, because that's going to go into the dish at the end. Like my other videos, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of garlic, so I have 3 cloves of garlic here that I'm going to crush, and then we are going to chop that up nice and fine, and this is what I'm going to saute at the beginning once it gets into the hot pan, hot oil pan. If you guys don't like a lot of garlic, you can just use 1 or 2, but it does give it a good flavor. And the base of this chicken is really lemongrass, but all of this makes it taste so much better. Cilantro is definitely something I put in every single one of my dishes. My husband had made a comment that I cut mine too big and that I need to make them a little smaller so you guys can see some of the yummy food that I put out, but it's what I like, so I guess everything is nice and chunky. This part you can omit if you want to, but I like to add the red pepper to it just to give it some color, and it makes the dish very vibrant and pretty. And these red peppers are not really spicy. I thought they would be spicy like a jalapeno, but they are a little bit more mild. So I'm going to add that to the end of my dish. So we are going to use a semi-wok here, and I added about 1 to 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And my heat is on about medium high. We're going to let this get really hot before we start adding the ingredients. You guys can use olive oil. That's fine too. I have done it both ways, and I don't taste a difference in it, but I prefer vegetable oil. It just makes the chicken more crispy. Right here I'm going to add all the shallots and the green onions to my pan, and then I also added my garlic. We're going to let this stir fry and cook a bit. That way it'll be nice and fragrant before we add our ingredients. We don't want to get this too brown, you guys, so make sure you watch it. Also, this is called lemongrass chicken, so I added 2 tablespoons of finely chopped up lemongrass. The reason what you guys just saw me do was I use it out of a jar. What I like to do is I buy lemongrass and I chop it up ahead of time. You can put it in a food processor or a blender and have it finely chopped, put it into a plastic container and freeze it. It lasts forever. And I put a little bit of Thai chilies into my lemongrass and I store it in the freezer, and whenever I need lemongrass I just take it out and use it. It's just so much quicker than having to go buy the stalk and chop it up, because one thing I do not like to do is chop up lemongrass. So make your life easier and do it ahead of time. So there was 2 tablespoons that went into my pot and pan, and like it smells so good right now, you guys. Lemongrass, garlic, and shallots is such a good combination. Okay, so I added a little bit more oil just because my vegetables pretty much soaked it up, and we want enough oil in here that way that the chicken will kind of fry when it gets into the pot. So I added about maybe 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil to my pot, and then we're going to go ahead and add the chicken. You want to make sure that after you wash the chicken, you make sure that it's nice and dry, because you don't want a lot of oil in the skillet. The skin will not brown correctly. So I went ahead and added my chicken to the pot, and we're gonna let that cook a bit, and then I'm gonna stir fry it, and then we're gonna swirl it around and make sure that all the skin gets nice and coated. That way they will all get crispy and brown. And we don't want it burnt, but we definitely want our skin crispy for sure. This is why I use the chicken thigh with skin on it. And if you guys are trying to eat healthy, then use it without the skin. This dish can also be used with chicken breast, but I find it to be a little bit dry, so chicken thighs is just the way to go. Here I am just slightly tossing it back and forth because I want all the skin and the flavors nice and coated. And so this spatula I'm using here actually came with my Fry Daddy, and I love it because it's big and it has holes in it, and so I use this a lot. I actually use it more than I use it for my fryer actually. So when you guys buy a Fry Daddy, oh my gosh, this spatula is like the best thing ever. Take my word for it. So in the video, I know that you see me walk away a lot, and the reason why I'm walking away from the camera, I'm usually gathering more ingredients, or I'm talking to my kids, or sometimes I'm just stepping away so I can wash my hands after I touch raw chicken or whatever it is, because good hygiene is important, and you guys definitely don't want to contaminate anything while you're cooking. You're touching raw stuff and cooked stuff, so make sure you wash your hands thoroughly when you're cooking, you guys. You don't want to get sick, and you don't want to get your family sick either. So just give it a little stir again. Once the bottom is nice and crispy, you want to stir it to get the top part nice and crispy. And I turned my fire up a little bit more because it wasn't getting as crispy as I wanted, so I cranked it up just a little bit. And right here I added about 1 spoon of the black pepper. If you like it spicy, add more. If you guys are not spicy eaters, don't add the black pepper because it does give it a little bit of kick, and my kids are eating, so I didn't add much black pepper, but we do like black pepper. If my kids were not eating, I would have had 2 spoons of black pepper to this dish. So as you can see, I'm still stirring my chicken here, and the juice at the bottom is like coming to a very good amount, and so you want to keep stirring this over and over again so that the skin can get nice and crispy here. Trust me, it's worth it. It is an easy dish, but it does require a little bit of babying. So this is why you constantly see me stir, and then I walk away, and then I'll come back and stir it again. So once the chicken is nice and cooked, we'll add our sauce to it. Honestly, as you can see, I have chicken bones in there too. We are some bone eaters. If you guys don't like chicken bone, omit it. Just cut around the bone and then just add the meat in here. But you know, we like to gnaw on our chicken, so this is why you see some of the bones inside of my dish. Everybody cooks differently, so whatever you guys prefer is fine. It's just, you know, your taste buds and your preference. One thing for sure is I want to mention to you guys that when you're cooking this dish, it does splash a lot. If you have a splatter screen, use it. If not, you know, that's fine too, but this dish splattered everywhere, and the reason why is because the oil is cooking the skin, is getting it nice and crispy. So once it starts touching the skin, everything just starts splattering. I don't cover my dish until the skin is nice and crispy. So this is why I'm constantly tossing and turning it, because I want everything nice and coated, and we want to make sure that all the chicken cooks evenly. You guys can even use a bigger pot if you want, that way it will cook faster. But this is the one that I ended up using, and I guess I had too much chicken in this pot, but it still turned out delicious. Also, this dish is really good. You know, even though it says lemongrass chicken, you guys can also do like lemongrass shrimp, lemongrass beef. The ingredients that go into this makes any meat you use taste delicious. I prefer chicken, so this is why I'm using chicken, but you can also use beef, you can also use shrimp, you can also use pork. You can serve this with rice, you can serve this with noodles. It's very versatile, so it's a good dish. Okay, so now that all my skin is nice and crispy, you guys can see all the fat that has surfaced. So I'm going to scoop all this oil out, because we don't want to eat this much oil that the chicken skin has made. So I'm going to scoop a lot of this out. I'm going to leave some of it in just so that we'll have some sauce at the end. But it has so much oil, and this is why some people don't want to use chicken thighs with skin on, is because of this reason. So if you are a health conscious eater, buy you the kind that doesn't have any skin on it, and then it would make your life easier, and you would not have to scoop oil out like I am now. Look how much oil that has produced. So much, and you definitely don't want to eat that. So we're going to discard that oil. Yeah. And I did leave some in the pot because I don't want my chicken dry, and so I did keep some in there, and we're going to stir it again. And then right before the meat is thoroughly cooked, I'm going to add my sauce into it, but before that happened, I cranked up the heat and then stirred this some more. Oh yeah, I dropped one, so I just put it back into my pot. One thing I do when I cook is like I clean as I go. I don't like a messy kitchen, you guys, so it's kind of like one of those things, keep your life easy and clean as you go while you cook. It just makes everything much easier and less stressful. So what you just saw there was a bottle of turmeric. I'm going to add some turmeric to this chicken. This is turmeric that I bought from the Asian store. Be careful what kind of turmeric you buy nowadays, because I know several months back, maybe a year ago, there was just like so many rumors about turmeric not being good, or this kind of fake turmeric that's being produced. I buy organic turmeric, so this was found in the Asian store, and this was before anything was recalled, so I ended up keeping mine. I added about 1 tablespoon of the turmeric to my chicken, and you know, yes, it's lemongrass chicken, but we can call it lemongrass turmeric chicken also. I love turmeric. Turmeric is really good for you, and so you guys add this if you want. If you don't, you can omit this part, but it's really delicious. My sauce here consisted of fish sauce, sugar, and Thai chilies. And what it is I added about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce and 1.5 tablespoon of granulated sugar and 1 Thai chili. If you are not a spicy eater, again, just omit the chili part. So this is where I added my sauce, and we are going to give it a nice stir and coat all the meat, and then we are going to let this simmer for a while so that the sauce can soak into all of our meat. Yeah, but going back to the turmeric, you know, I would not add the turmeric to shrimp, pork, or beef if I was doing the same dish, but for the chicken, it's a must. And once you try it, you will know what I mean when I say what difference the turmeric makes. And I actually got that secret part of the turmeric, adding it to my chicken, from one of my older cousins, and so ever since she told me that she put turmeric in one of her chicken dishes, I added it, and I have done it ever since. It's delicious, and turmeric's healthy for you and your family, and it does not have a bad taste. So you guys try it and let me know how you like it. Again, we're going to let this sit here and simmer. I let it simmer for about a good 10-15 minutes, and then as you can see, all that sauce is coming to the surface and you're getting more and more sauce. You want a lot of sauce in this, that way you can eat it over your rice. This is not one of those dishes where you sit there and wait until the sauce, you know, evaporates. So this is why you don't see me covering this dish at all, because we want sauce and we want this to not get soggy. So no covering the dish while it's cooking. Once it gives it a nice simmer like this, I'm going to turn my heat down just a bit to medium low and give it another stir. Obviously you can see me stirring a lot in this chicken dish, and that's the only reason why is because I want all my chicken nicely coated, and because it's in a wok, you see some of that meat staying on top, and if you don't stir it, a lot of this meat you know, won't have its flavor that we are trying to achieve. So make sure you guys constantly stir it and make sure that the chicken's nicely done before you turn off the heat, because we don't want to eat raw chicken. This dish right here, if you guys want to serve it alone without the herbs and aromatics and whatnot, that's fine too. But me, I like to be extra, so that's why I will add everything at the end. Just because it gives it color, it's vibrant, and this beautiful yellow color goes well with red and green. I had several comments, you know, about my videos showing my house slippers, and again, I mentioned before, you know, my channel is basically of me cooking these recipes that I love and that I want to share with you guys. So it's not going to be perfect and it's not professional, but it is made with love, and so excuse the bunny slippers, excuse whatever else that you see in my house, but I'm here to show you my recipes that I cook, and I want to share it with you all. So now that my chicken is done and the sauce has come to a point to where I really like it, I'm going to go ahead and add my onions, and then I'm going to add my red peppers. You can omit the red peppers if needed, but as you can see how beautiful these colors look. And there is my cilantro, and this is basically the dish, you guys. This is lemongrass chicken, or you can call it turmeric lemongrass chicken, also known in Vietnamese as Xao Xa Ot, and Nhẹ is pretty much turmeric. So add turmeric if you want to. If you don't, you can omit that. But here's the final dish, you guys. It's really delicious. Serve it over rice. Your family will love it. Your kids will love it. And you guys send me your pictures and let me know how you like it. And this is our family meal right here. The chicken, the rice, our cucumbers. We serve it with fish sauce and some boiled eggs with soy sauce and togarashi. Look at that beautiful dish, you guys. I'm just drooling just by looking at this dish. And so I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know how you like it. Give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching, guys. Have a great day.